Thank you, Chaplain Loser. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Basic Military Training Graduation Parade. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony. The Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, Colonel Jason Carruthers. The Superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Hope Skivitsky. Also in attendance with us today, Major General Mark Solo, United States Air Force retired. Major General Thomas Taverny, United States Air Force retired, accompanied by his wife, Kathy. Brigadier General Sandra Gregory, United States Air Force retired, accompanied by her husband, Colonel Tom Brady, United States Air Force retired. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 37th Training Wing is proud to welcome each and every one of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. The airmen who will pass and review today have completed a demanding 7.5-week program that provides Air Force units throughout the world with trained airmen. Part of this training includes the time-proven concepts of military customs and traditions, of which this parade is a vital part. All graduating airmen will also march over the Enlisted Heroes Walk. They will lead the way for thousands of airmen that will follow, all reflecting on our enlisted heritage, tradition of honor, and our legacy of valor. Our Commander of Airmen is Technical Sergeant Serena Harmon, Military Drill and Ceremonies NCO, 320th Training Squadron. Colonel Carruthers will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. 737th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence Streamer. The Commander's Excellence Streamer is awarded to the 324th Training Squadron, Flight 405, for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps during the period of 9 April 2018 through 25 May 2018. Signed, Jason Carruthers, Colonel, United States Air Force.
March the command in review.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen passing in review today represent a portion of 40,000 recruits who will complete basic military training this year. The 737th Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the enlisted corps of the greatest air force in the world. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, development and discipline of the airmen. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven throughout academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air Force. The flights you will review today are a representation of the enlisted force. Each flight represents an enlisted member of the Air Force who has embodied our Air Force core values and contributed to its heritage. As our graduates turn left onto the bomb run to pass and review, they will march over the enlisted Heroes Walk. The airmen recognized on the papers have been awarded our nation's highest honors, representing heroic and unselfish actions as members of the United States Air Force in armed conflict during the present-day operations in Afghanistan. They include 7 Medals of Honor, 28 Air Force Crosses, and 190 Silver Stars awarded for bravery during conflicts with hostile enemy combatants. These enlisted heroes serve to inspire all airmen to execute their duties courageously and with honor in their service to this great nation. Armed with a knowledge of our past, the airmen will exit the Heroes Walk by marching over a blue line, signifying their accession into the greatest air power in the world. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by the 737th Training Group's Drum and Bugle Corps from the 321st Training Squadron, performing today under the direction of Master Sergeant Douglas Kost, hometown Zeleenople, Pennsylvania. These trainees are also in basic military training, but have been hand-selected to perform for ceremonies of this type. We would like for you to notice our national, state, and territorial flags. As these flags pass in review, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag. Once the flags have passed in review, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow our other guests the opportunity to view the flags as they pass in review. Our Commander of Airmen is Technical Sergeant Serena Harmon, Military Drill and Ceremonies NCO, 320th Training Squadron, hometown, Frederick, Maryland. From the 321st Training Squadron, the 737th Drum and Bugle Corps, led by Master Sergeant Brian Matthews, hometown, Tennessee, and Technical Sergeant Edward Lopez, hometown, Davie, Florida. The 8th Squadron Commander is Technical Sergeant Isaac Adamora, Military Training Instructor, 324th Training Squadron, hometown, Houston, Texas. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing the 1st Female Combat Arms Major Command Program Manager, the Trap Waldo Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Bradley Rector, hometown, Gloverville, New York. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 2, Harlow Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Jonathan Blank, hometown, Westerly, Rhode Island. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 15, McKinley Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Kendall Richardson, hometown, Lafayette, Louisiana. The squadron selected as the color guard is from the 319th Training Squadron, led by Master Sergeant Brian Garcia, hometown, Del Rio, Texas. The flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags are from the 320th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 8, Harris Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Martha Barbarazabal, hometown, Tyler, Texas, and Technical Sergeant Robert Beltran, hometown, Houston, Texas. The B Squadron Commander is Technical Sergeant Richard Crotchy, Military Training Instructor, 324th Training Squadron, hometown, Tucson, Arizona. From the 324th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 11, Campanelle Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Nathan Drum, hometown, Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. From the 323rd Training Squadron, representing an Air Force Combat Action Medal recipient, Blue Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Christina Richard, hometown, Bronx, New York. From the 323rd Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 16, Roy Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Gerard Basil, hometown, West Islip, New York. From the 323rd Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 17, Cody Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Horace Wilcox, hometown, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. From the 323rd Training Squadron, representing a Medal of Honor recipient, Matthews Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Ridley Skiles, hometown, Lexington, Massachusetts. From the 320th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 6, McCoy Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Jason Eubanks, hometown, Greenville, Texas. From the 320th Training Squadron, representing Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force No. 7, Andrews Flight, led by Technical Sergeant Ryan Gonzalez, hometown, Fort Collins, Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the United States Air Force song. ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Over the last 7.5 weeks, the airmen before you have transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined warrior airmen with a foundation to serve in the world's greatest Air Force. Once these airmen leave basic military training, they will enter Airmen's Week, where they will develop their critical thinking skills and further personalize the Air Force core values. They will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in one of over 118 Air Force specialties. They will then move on to serve at one of over 84 Air Force bases around the world or work directly with our sister services. As these airmen move on to technical training, they will continue to focus on adapting to military requirements, achieving occupational proficiency, and learning how to be highly productive members of the Air Force. These men and women will prepare for increased responsibilities and must ensure they are trained, qualified, and ready to deploy and operate in an expeditionary environment while maintaining home station readiness. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the U.S. military, and an even smaller percentage in the United States Air Force. You should be proud of their accomplishments thus far. The airmen before you have reached a milestone in their Air Force journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. These airmen are the future of our Air Force and will pave the way for future generations of airmen as we continue to fly, fight, and win. We would like to take a moment to congratulate all of our squadron honor graduates as well as their families. Basic military training honor graduates distinguish themselves by being ranked in the top 10% of all airmen graduating in their class. The exceptional personal dedication, integrity, service before self, and sustained excellence these airmen displayed through basic military training earned them this outstanding distinction. As the airmen march forward for the oath of enlistment, we would like to thank the families and friends who are here in support of the airmen graduating today. Your words of encouragement help motivate these airmen through 7.5 weeks of basic military training. On behalf of the United States Air Force and Air Force Military Basic Training, we extend our thanks to the many family members and friends of America's airmen for the support of our airmen and the greatest air power the world has ever known. Will now come forward and address our graduated airmen.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
So today we get to celebrate something amazing. We get to celebrate the extension of the long blue line of our Air Force to the tune of over 730 airmen. But look, here's what I get. I am the last thing between you and them. So before I get to letting you share that special moment with them, I'd be remiss if I didn't start with a few thank yous, and then I promise you just a few brief remarks to all of the amazing array before you today. So let me start with those thank yous. First, let me say thank you to the friends, the families in the audience, those moms, those dads, those brothers, those sisters, those aunts, those uncles, those mentors responsible for the love and support that bring us to this moment. Your love and support brought them to this moment, but I promise you, it is your love and support in the weeks, months, and years to come that will continue to be called for. Serving our nation requires a level of perseverance and grit that I assure you each one of these airmen has, but it certainly demands a level of support from their friends and family. So thank you so much to you for getting us to this moment. And so to the veterans in the audience, if you could, would you please stand? Look, we thank you for your service and everything that it represents for our nation. These airmen understand they stand on the shoulders of giants, and they will continue your legacy going forward, I promise you. They have it. And as we stand on the cusp of Memorial Day weekend, I think it's important for us to take just a moment, a silent moment, to recognize those who gave their everything to this nation. So if you'll just join me for just a couple of moments of silence on their behalf as I bow my head. Thank you. As I transition from those rock star veterans in the audience, let me highlight another team of rock stars that I certainly have a little bias for, all of them. So let me say thank you to our staff, those commanders, the superintendents, all of those teammates that bring us this. But as I highlight those teammates, let me tell you who I especially need to recognize. It's that military training instructor corps. Woo! I'm all about it. I'll do anything that way. See, look, we didn't necessarily draw from the very best of our NCOs and senior NCOs across this Air Force to handcraft the human weapons system arrayed before you today. I promise you that they represent excellence in everything they do to bring us the warriors here today. It is my honor to be able to serve alongside them, and they've heard me say this, but you need to hear me say it. I don't envy an awful lot because I'm overly blessed and under-talented, but I envy that dark blue campaign hat that they wear because they get to do something special. They create our Air Force and they make a better version of our nation as a result of the hard work they do. So please join me in a round of applause for them. And so to our graduating airmen today we mark a celebration of your admission into an elite force, a force of the uncommon. See, your force, your Air Force, is defined by a heritage and history of flying farther, flying faster, and doggone it, doing it first. It's a force characterized by strengths drawn from differences, whether or not that's gender, ethnic background, faiths, or the varying locales that brought up the warriors that you represent here today. Yours is a force that strikes fear into the hearts of the enemy as we have the ability to conduct precision airstrikes wherever and whenever our nation needs us. Ours is a force that provides hope and salvation all across this globe as we exercise and provide humanitarian relief and response. Ours is a force that touches the lives of all citizens. And for the friends and family in the audience, I'm going to offer you an example of that. So whatever brought you here today, whether or not that was a plane, whether or not that was you driving in, most assuredly what was part of that, whether integrated into the avionics of the aircraft, into the navigation system in your vehicle, or on that iPhone that you carry with you today. That is enabled by the global positioning satellite system that our Air Force runs. So on behalf of our Air Force, I'll simply say, you're welcome. Airmen, you have the courage to serve in a time of immense uncertainty. It is your commitment to serve that brings life. Whether it's reassuring our European allies against the resurgent Russia, whether or not that's maintaining a peaceful but watchful presence in the Asian Pacific theater as we discern what's happening with Russia, or with China, the rise of China. And certainly it's as part of a range of military elements to put into action if needed to combat an increasingly aggressive North Korea that flouts international norms and standards. It's your service in a world made more dim by threats to national security that brings life. It is your service and your courage in an uncertain world to face the dark and do what only 1 in 100 are willing to do. You have faced the dark and you said, send me. And I am absolutely honored to be a part of your team, as together we will run hard, fight hard, and serve hard to make this Air Force and our nation a better place. So with that said, I have just one question for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest Air Force?
Hey, hi, 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 hey!
Holy smokes, I think that's a yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Colonel Carruthers will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States
and I will obey the orders of the President of the United States
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
according to regulations in the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
according to regulations in the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Airmen. Welcome to the World Trade Center.
Thank you, Colonel Carruthers. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as our newest airmen recite the Airman's Creed and remain in place for the departure of our official party. I am an American airman.
I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly high and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American airman, guardian of freedom and justice. My nation's sword and shield, its century of legend. I defend my country with my life. I am an American airman, winged and lead a warrior. I will never leave an air behind. I will never falter. Never will I fail.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.